Good afternoon, and welcome to our show, Nashua Nonprofits. I'm your host, State Representative Don LeBrun. Access Nashua invites all Nashua nonprofits to appear on our show to enlighten our audience about who they are and what their nonprofit is all about. Today, we welcome representatives from the Salvation Army to talk to us about the details surrounding their organization. If you wish to appear on our show, please contact us at accessnashua@gmail.com or call Dick Gagnon at 589-3141 for more details. That having been said, let's welcome Major David Moore to the show. How do you do, Major? Pleasure to have you here.
Very good. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I would like to talk to you a little bit about, first about the origin of the Salvation Army. How was the organization founded? Who founded it? And where is it? How has it grown since then?
Okay. Well, it was founded in 1865 in London, England. Actually, in the east end of London, England. The founder was William Booth, and also with his wife, Catherine Booth. She was very involved. He was a Methodist minister, and he was doing tent revival meetings in the east end of London, again, for many of the people that were down and out, the street people. And they would be converted, and they would go back to a church, and most of the churches at that time didn't want the street people to come into the church. Either they had to pay a fee to be in a church which they couldn't afford, or if they were allowed in the church, they had to sit all the way in the back, or and they were not comfortable. So they went back to William Booth and said, where can we go? And that's when he decided to start his own church, and that's how the origins of the Salvation Army really came to be. Right now, we're in 126 countries around the world. A lot of people don't realize that we are a church. Again, my wife and I are both ordained ministers, and we're the administrators here. We're known for our social service work in a lot of ways. Again, it was started originally as a church, but William Booth felt, how can you tell someone about the love of God and not do something in a very practical way? How can you say, pat him on the back and say, I'm so sorry that you're hungry, and not do something about it, or I'm so sorry that you're homeless and not do something about it? So that's how the social service side got started also. And again, it spread from London, England. As I said today, we're over in 126 countries. Again, we do our church side, but we're very well known for our social service side. Food pantries, emergency assistance. Christmas is a big thing, giving out toys and food at Christmas. Also here we do a summer day camp, an after school. We have an emergency disaster team that responds to emergencies. We'll supply food and coffee to the first responders. So again, we're very busy on the church side and the social service side.
Now, you also have, obviously, somewhat of a military rank structure within the organization.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, and again, originally when the Salvation Army started, William Booth, at first it was called the Christian Mission. But again, they felt that they were fighting a war against evil, fighting a war against the social injustices, fighting a war against sin, fighting against, again, the evil in the world, and they decided to change the name to become an army. They wanted to fight for God, fight against, again, the injustices of the world, and so they decided to say, well, we want to be an army, and they decided, well, Salvation Army, we want to, preach salvation, save people, again, in a spiritual way, but also save them from their physical troubles. So that's where, again, they wanted to become an army, and they chose the Salvation Army. And a member of our church would be a soldier. Again, they're fighting against, we believe, against the evil of this world. And then the ordained pastors, like my wife and I, we would have the rank of either lieutenant, captain, major, and then there's a colonel, a commissioner, and then there's one general who's in charge of the Salvation Army around the world.
So the general would be, for lack of a better way to put it, would sort of be like the head of the church, sort of like the Pope or the bishop or whatever.
Right, well, again, head of the church, and this, again, the social service side, again, really has the top decisions. Well, again, she would have advisory boards and members like that would help her, but she is the one who makes the final decisions. And right now she is a woman general also. So again, the Salvation Army has always been kind of on the cutting edge of having ladies involved in the ministry.
And bell ringing, of course, at this time of year is a big thing to the Salvation Army.
Yes,
In
it
fact,
is.
we
Right,
have
right.
have a bell here.
Right.
And I like to take part in bell ringing. I
Appreciate
do that
that.
every year. And of course, we have the kettle here that is what the people put their money
Right,
in.
right, right.
Tell us a little more about that. How did that begin? Where did you get to the kettle thing?
I believe it started in San Francisco. I don't have the exact date. Later 1800s. I believe 1870, something like that. The officers of Salvation Army out in San Francisco wanted to help the needy at Christmas time, so they set up a big metal pot out, I believe it was either on the wharf or by the wharf out there in San Francisco, and they were looking for donations so that they can, again, buy food and buy clothing or toys for families, and that's really how it got its start in the United States, and really since then it's spread throughout the world. Again, at Christmas time we go out, all the donations that come help us to do, again, the work that we do here in Nashua or wherever. The money that comes is used locally, again, to help the social services that we do, reach out to people that are in need.
I know one thing that you're very proud of, I've read this, I've heard it throughout the years, is how you distribute your money and what percentage of your money is distributed. Can you tell us a little about that?
We're very high percentage of it, again, goes to be used exactly what it's used for. And again, one reason is because, again, with my wife and I ordained pastors, but we also don't have a very big staff. I mean, we have some help, but we don't have the staff probably that we should have. So again, my wife and I do a lot of the hands-on work, and then we have many volunteers also. Our advisory board, Tom Jenkins is our chairman of our advisory board, and have many members of the advisory board. We also have a women's auxiliary, and again, people like yourself that help us in volunteering, either ringing the bell, helping us get the clothing and the toys at Christmas time. But we rely heavily on volunteers, and then again, the officers do a lot of the hands-on work. So that helps us to have a very high percentage of the money that comes in is used for directly to go to help the people that it's designed to help.
Now, you also have volunteers that do other things other than collect the money and whatnot. You have volunteers that, for instance, are on call for disaster services and things like that. Because when I was with the Red Cross, there was many times we joined up at disaster services. Tell us about that.
Well, again, and we work hand in hand with Red Cross, and again, a lot of times the Red Cross will be involved in supplying the shelter or supplying emergency shelter and clothing and things like that, and we will be supplying the food and the water and so on. But we do have volunteers that run. We have right now about 6 or 7 on our emergency disaster service team. Again, if there's a major fire in Nashua or in the surrounding area in Hudson or the surrounding area, we will respond to the fire. Again, any kind of emergency. If the Nashua Fire Rescue calls us out, we go out and we respond. Again, in wintertime, we take hot coffee, hot beef stew, things like that if we need food, or in summer, again, Gatorade and water. But basically, right now, we respond to the first responders. We supply them with, again, water, food, snacks. And if there's also any, again, victims or of the disaster, we would also set up food and have things for them also. And then if it's a major disaster, again, we would work with the Red Cross or other agency also. I know we had a drill last year. I think it was Nashua High School South. Red Cross set up the shelter. We set up the kitchen to do the feeding. So again, we work hand in hand with the Red Cross. We work hand in hand with the Nashua Fire Rescue, also with the city of Nashua. So again, it's a team approach to meeting the needs of people.
I remember many times when I was with the Red Cross that some of the Salvation Army people would call us and we would coordinate and go out together on a disaster. Many times.
Right.
We would set up the shelter, as you said, and together we would collaborate and provide the necessary food or comfort.
And as we see, I mean, more and more we're reminded of with the superstorm Sandy, and even though we were fortunate up here, but again, a little over a year ago, Hurricane Irene, and disasters always seem to happen, and I think we're trying to be more and more proactive, again, to work with the Red Cross, be prepared with the city, so when the call comes in, we're fortunate to have a very good team. When the call comes in, they're ready to go out and help those that need the help, and instead of trying to work behind and saying, who do I call, who do we?
Yeah.
But there's a very good collaboration with Red Cross and with the city and the fire department.
Yeah.
So
I believe when there is a disaster or an emergency like that, you do have contacts within the police department, the fire department, and
Right.
whatnot that,
Right.
that enlighten you as to what's going on and what they need.
Right.
So.
And then it's also like the Red Cross also, if it was a really major disaster, again, like a hurricane or something, we have other contacts that we can contact our headquarters up in Portland, Maine, and they would have resources and people be available to come out and give us extra supply, extra help. So, but yes, we do have a number of contacts again, and we try to work with everyone we can to assist those that need the help.
Now, obviously, you must have a chain of supply for a lot of the things that you give out to people, other than the financial donations. Tell me about that.
Well, again, at Christmas, again, a lot of the money that comes in helps us not just at Christmas but throughout the year, and also the Telegraph through the Santa Fund. They do a great job with supplying us and the Front Door Agency with funds to help us to get the toys and the food that we need. But we also send out angel tags at Christmas time to many churches, individuals, some businesses, and we send out angel tags asking for a gift for individual child, also asking for clothing for that child. So we get a lot of donations also at this time of year of new toys, new clothing, food. Throughout the year, we have many donations coming into our food pantry because, again, our food pantry is just always constantly busy, and it's hard to keep the shelves stocked at times. But we do get a lot of donations of food. We get a lot of donations throughout the year of used clothing. We have a clothing room also where people can get the clothing that they need. So yes, besides the financial assistance that we get, we do get a lot of assistance with clothing, toys, food, and again, very practical items that we need.
Now, if someone wants to donate food or clothing, where would they take that here in Nashua?
Again, we're located at 1 Montgomery Avenue on South Main Street. It's on the corner of Main Street and 1 Montgomery Avenue. Again, at this time of year, we're looking basically for food and also new toys or new clothes. But throughout the year, again, any food for the food pantry, or if they have clothing, they can drop it off again for our used clothing room. But that would come to the corner of Main Street and Montgomery Avenue. And again, there's a big sign right out front that says Salvation Army.
Now, are there any particular items that you frown upon more or less that you would rather people do not bring?
Well, basically, we're just set up to accept throughout the year, except really used clothing. If it's larger items, they really need to drop it off at the store on West Hollis Street. They're more designed to take large furniture, things like that. But we're really set up just to do clothing and food for our food pantry throughout the year. And then, as I said, at this time of year, new toys and new clothes for the children.
And that's the store on West Hollis that used to be the old Susie's Market?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's, and now I believe it's a retail outlet.
Yeah, right. And again, it's the Salvation Army, but that's a separate department that we don't run that ourselves. Again, we have our own little clothing room and our own food pantry, and that the retail store there again helps with a rehab center. All the funds that come in through the retail store runs a rehab center for people with substance abuse. So again, that's a separate department that I don't run myself. So.
Is that volunteer?
At the store?
At the store?
No, I believe they have, some might be volunteer, but I believe they have paid employees because, again, it's hard to get volunteers that would work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever they need, to be there. So.
Now, if someone, other than through the church, if someone would like to volunteer with the Salvation Army, how would they go about that?
And again, we have many ways that people can volunteer. Again, not with the church, but throughout the year, we need people to help out in the food pantry, either stocking shelves or bringing food in for us to help set up the clothing in the clothing room. At Christmas time, we need people to help sort out toys, help to move the toys, help to, again, bring in the clothing and so on. look for volunteers to ring the bells, like you've mentioned. Again, we have many groups that go out, especially on Friday and Saturdays, but either at night or on a day during the day, on any day of the week or a Saturday, we look for volunteers that would like to go out and ring the bells. So there's many opportunities. Also, we do have an after-school program if someone would like to come and help the young people with homework, or during the summer we have a summer day camp if someone would like to come maybe an hour a day and help out in some way. So there's many different ways that we look for volunteers, and if someone is interested, they can call us also at 889-5151.
And what was that number?
889-5151.
889-5151.
Right.
That's always good to know how people can contact you.
Right.
And is there any particular person at that number that they would speak with?
Well, again, they can speak to myself, Major David Moore, or ask for my wife, Major Norma Moore, or the other person would be good, Rosemarie Dykeman. She's the Director of Social Services, and she's a very good one to contact also for volunteering.
So you and your wife are both majors, so that's always good, not to outrank the other.
Right. There are occasions
that can cause problems.
There are occasions where it does happen, but no, we're both majors, so yes.
So how long have you been serving with the Salvation Army?
Well, actually, I grew up in the Salvation Army. My parents are retired Salvation Army ministers, officers now. So I've grown up in the church part all of my life, but as the being administrators of the social services in the church, been a little over 15 years now. We decided to go into the seminary 17 years ago, and that's a 2-year plan, and then after that, we've been out for 15 years now, and so we've been involved very heavily. We were down in Danbury, Connecticut for 10 years, and then we went back to New Jersey for 3 years, and now we're up in Nashua a little over 2 years now. So.
Now you mentioned the church. I'm sure the church isn't called the Salvation Army. What is the name of the church itself?
Actually, it is called the
Salvation
Army.
Army?
And again, that's
that I didn't know.
Yes, and again, a lot of people do not realize again that we are a church, and just as you just said, when they do, I say that I'm a pastor, and they'll say, "With what church?" And I'll say, Salvation Army, and they say, "Yes, but what church?"
Yeah, well, that was my thinking.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, again, yes, the church is the Salvation Army, and then out of the church, really, we do our social services. So really, the Salvation Army, when I think of the Salvation Army, I think of the church. But most people, again, when they think of it, they think of the social services. But again, the name of the church is the Salvation Army, and we have both the church side and the social service side. And anyone that comes to us, we do not require them to come to church. I mean, again, if someone is looking for, if they're lonely, if they're looking for spiritual help in some way, we would encourage them to come and talk to us. And if coming to the church fits in, that's great. But the majority of the people come, we serve people without discrimination. We don't say, oh, you have to come to church first, you have to do this. We give them food, we give them clothing. Again, whatever we do to help them, we don't say you have to be a member of the church. There's no discrimination or no tugging at their sleeve and saying you have to come to church first. So, yes. So
you offer a wide variety of services, from counseling to, I think you mentioned, helping children with their homework, daycare. Is
right.
that?
Well, again, that's after school. We have the after school. We do that 5 days a week from 2 to 6 o'clock, and that's from September through the end of June, and then during the summer we run our summer day camp. But we try to do a number of programs for children or for the young people, so that's very good. But we also have a program every Monday. We do a senior luncheon. We have about anywhere from 20 to 25 seniors that come, and we do lunch with them, and then we do a little bit of a program with them, and that's really run from September through June also. So we kind of go from the children all the way up to the seniors, and then again, there are many things that we try to do and try to reach out people that are looking for something.
Now, your day camp that you mentioned, is that something that you do at the church, or do you have a separate actual camp?
Well, we have a separate building. Again, it's in the church property, but it's in a separate building. And again, we do bring some faith-based themes into that, but it's really not a church program. Again, the children that come to that, they're not required to come, again, to the church or anything, but we do have some faith-based themes throughout the summer with it. But they come there usually from 8 in the morning, and we're open till about 5 o'clock at night, and again, 5 days a week. But it's a good, there's a very good summer day camp, and there's really, again, no push there that they have to come to church, but we do have some faith-based themes from time to time at the summer day camp.
And your church, when someone wants to come to your church, what are your hours? And again, your church is located at Montgomery and Main Street.
Right.
What are the hours and the times of your services?
Well, Sunday morning we have 10 o'clock. We have our Sunday school for the children, but we also have a very good adult class that ranges actually probably 40 and up. We have age 40 and up. We have a number of almost seniors and some middle-aged young people to come. Our Sunday school goes from 10 to 11, and then we have our morning our worship service from 11 o'clock to 12. So again, we're open to anyone who would like to come. Again, we're very close to the Methodist Church, our beliefs. Again, the William Booth was originally a Methodist minister, but again, we have a very informal meeting. We try to welcome everyone that comes. I think it's a very good service, but if anyone's interested, if they're looking for some friendship, if they're looking for some company, we would love to have someone to stop by and, become part of our family.
And do you have any specific events coming up that you would like to talk about?
Well, and again, our big thing right now is our kettle drive, which goes through December 24th. But then on February 1st, we'll have our groundhog breakfast. We do that this year won't be on Groundhog Day because of the Saturday, but on Friday we do our groundhog breakfast. Mark Warner from Triangle Credit Union has been heading that up for many years now. We'll be doing that on, again, February 1st. We also have our very big fundraiser, Apple Fest, in October. Tom Jenkins, our chairman of our advisory board, heads that up. Been heading that up for 5 years now, and that's a very big community event. We estimate anywhere probably from 6 to 8, maybe 10,000 people come to that last couple years, and that's a great community event. So that's two of the bigger events that we have throughout the year, and two very good fundraisers for us. But we also have some other smaller fundraisers throughout the year. We do a 5K run in June. We do. And
where does that take place?
And here in Nashua, and I forget the exact street, but behind Riviera College, kind of on South Main Street. And there it starts.
Around the country club.
Right. But so we have a 5K run in June. We did just did a craft fair back in end of September for our Women's Auxiliary. The first time that they did that went very good. We have 52 people that bought tables to sell their crafts and sell their wares, and that was a very, very good event. So
so that's sort of like a swap sale.
Well, that was again, people would come in and really was more crafts. They would like have candles or sweaters or jewelry, and they would sell their items, and they would just pay us basically a fee to have a table there. But between our advisory board or Women's Auxiliary, they both do a very good job, great job throughout the year, helping us with the fundraisers, financially, but also helping us in a very practical way. They go out, ring the bell at Christmas time, help with the toys and the clothing to come at this time of year. They help us in very many ways, just reaching out in the community. So our advisory board and our Women's Auxiliary do a great job for us. And that's why we need many volunteers to do the work, to support us and help us in many ways.
Now, the overall organization, are you an umbrella for any other organizations? Do you fund or give grants to other organizations?
No, we don't. No.
You don't do that at all?
No. We do get grants, federal grants or grants from the city or grants to come into us, again, to help with either the food bank or help with social services or but we do not give grants out to, again, we'll collaborate with other agencies, but we do not give out funds to another agency. All the funds that come in to the Salvation Army are just used for Salvation Army purposes.
So here in Nashua, basically everything you do sort of begins at the church at Montgomery and Main Street.
Right.
and anyone needing services or thinking that there is something that you can help them with can reach you there.
Right. Again, they
at that church.
Right. They call us at 889-5151. Talk to Rosemarie, or Director of Social Services, and make an appointment to come in, or they can just, again, walk in off the street. We're open from Monday to Friday from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Again, if they need food assistance, if they need clothing, when we have the funds, we do some rent assistance, some utility assistance, some other emergency assistance like that, again, when we have the funds. But again, if there's some kind of need, or even if they're just lonely and want to talk, can give us a call or stop in, and we'd be happy to see what we can do.
So if possibly an elderly individual or something that may be lonely, may just have lost a spouse or something like that, you would counsel them?
Oh, yeah, counsel them, or again, if they would like to have a home visit, and things like. We do also at this time of year, and try to do it throughout the year too, we visit some of the nursing homes in the area, just to go through and give them a little gift at Christmas time and say, you know, Merry Christmas, let them know somebody's thinking about them. But we try to do that throughout the year also. And again, we run from the young children all the way up to the seniors. We try to just reach out what's needed in the community, whether it's a senior that's lonely, would like to come to our senior program and have lunch with us, or the young children in need a place to go after school, for the after school or a summer day camp. So we try to, again, just reach out, whatever needs are out there in the community, and try to do what we can to help.
Are you set up in any way to offer transportation, say, to someone who has no other way of either coming to you, or do you provide any kind of transportation as far as doctor's visits, hospital visits, anything like that?
On a limited basis, really. I mean, now we do pick up on Sunday morning for church. Actually, I go out and have another driver. We do pick up some young people, also some seniors that come to church. But during the week, we're not really set up. We do some transportation like that, but really that's on a limited basis. We're not. We just don't have the staff and have the transportation to do that. But we can do that from time to time, but on a very limited basis.
Well, I'm looking forward to doing my bell ringing, which is coming up on December 8th.
Okay.
At the Shaw store on Main Street.
Right.
And I look forward to it every year.
Hopefully it'll be a good day.
Well, that really doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
As far as the Shaw store, you're undercover there.
True.
That doesn't matter. But it's always so much fun. I like to sing to the people, ring the bell and wish them Merry Christmas, and let them know that it is okay to say Merry Christmas.
True.
And it's okay to say God bless you.
Right.
So we're not that politically correct that we can't say those things.
I'm glad to hear that. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a pin that I wear sometimes that says it's okay to say Merry Christmas.
Okay, good.
Well, Major, it has been a pleasure to speak with you. And information has been so enlightening. And I understand that you play the trombone, and that you may have a little something that you want to play for us.
Well, actually, I try to go out as much as I can, either ringing the bell or I take my instrument out and play Christmas carols. I enjoy going out, play on the kettles also, again, just to say hello to people and say Merry Christmas, say God bless you and thank you. But yes, I brought that today. If you'd like to hear this Christmas carol to help us to get into the Christmas spirit.
Well, we'll do that, and we'll close the show, and we'll let you get ready to play something for us.
Okay.
And in the meantime, this has been Nashua's Nonprofits, and we've been here with the Salvation Army representative, Major David Moore, and that's our show for today. Thank you for watching.